G'day my friends, Marty WARE here from Marty's Garden on YouTube, and today we're going to talk about grow bags and planting out fruit trees to get them started. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it, why you should consider doing it. It's a great way to get your plant started and to even get them to quite a large size. So the first thing you do before you transplant any plant at all is you water it out. Like, you need to get those roots nice and wet to avoid any shock at all. Now I've got some liquid from my worm farm here, which is similar to using SEAWEED to take away root plant shock. Now I'm going to collect all that beautiful juice down below in the tray below, because I want to reuse it again. It's great stuff. And the plant, once it's nice and wet, will get ready to go straight into the grow bag. It's a very simple process and you'll get amazing results. So I filled the grow bag about 1/3 full of homemade compost. Now you can use an organic potting mix and that's a good way to go. I'm very lucky, I've got an organic compost here that's got compost worms in it and different things. It's a great medium and this pot will go into it quite easily. So I just pull away a lot of the sides here. Now, I'm going to run some of this water, let some of this liquid go straight in, sort of wet it round a bit. Now I've made sure that the compost is nice and wet in there. There's some worm castings in there as well. What I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to get ready to flip the plant upside down like this, so I don't lose any of that. Now because I've loosened the sides, it should go in quite easily. What we want to do is, we want to look here at the root system. Now you can see the roots are sort of browning off, which is not a good thing, right? We want a nice white end on the roots, so that means that it's not as happy in this pot as I would have wished. And I'm going to pull away and stimulate these roots to get new root growth. Now as I said, this plant, it's all about revitalizing it. I'm seeing the odd white root there. There's one there, that's the color it should be, right round. And so I'm just going to, sometimes, you know, you get these plants, and this was given to me to take care of, and they're just not in good potting mix. And you know, like the potting mix just, it's too tight, it's just the wrong, it's just not the right material. And look, there's a worm in here, an earthworm, because it was down near the garden. So he's a beauty, so he'll be happy to go into there with the compost for sure. You can see him right there, wrapping right around. So we'll put him in there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to backfill more compost around into that, right around that root ball. Then we're going to have a talk a bit more about why we should be using a grow bag to get your plant started like this. And cover these roots as much as possible. You hear that motorbike, that's the postie going past at my garden here. Hopefully he's dropping off something for me that I need and I'm waiting for. So, like, look, more worms in my compost. Really great sign when you're composting at home to have worms around, compost worms and earthworms. This one's out in the gut, come from the ground, so yeah, really happy about that. And so that's perfect. All I got to do is put a bit of mulch around the top of that, a bit of sugar cane or a bit of wood chip, something like that along those lines, and that will be absolutely ready to roll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to water it again, because I saved that liquid before. There's a few roots getting exposed again here, so we will cover it over one more time. Now what you find is the potting mix or the compost will drop down and it will fall down and you'll need to backfill again, but I'll just put a little bit around the root ball and then I'll put some more compost around the top, and I think that'll be absolutely perfect. So why should we consider growing in grow bags compared to a plastic pot? Well, there's a lot of advantages to grow bags. There is one quite large disadvantage though. The advantage is the roots. They just get much more stimulated by airflow going through the bags, and then the roots actually break and split off and form more roots. Where in a pot, there's no airflow, and they actually hit and spin around the pot, and that makes the plant pot bound. As you saw in the video, it wasn't really doing so well in the pot, but now the roots can grow out. They can actually get stimulated on the sides by the airflow coming through and produce a much healthier fruit tree. Now you can then put it into another bigger grow bag or get ready to plant it into the ground with a super healthy, nice big root structure. Now if you've got a big root structure, you're going to get a bigger, healthier plant, and you're going to get much more fruit on your fruit tree. So, look at this. It's quite heavy. Now, the problem is they dry out much faster because it's more air getting to them, and they just need more water. So if water is a problem for you, maybe consider not using these. But you can actually put trays down below and it will sump up and will use water quite effectively that way. So that's probably the only con that I could say, other than just stay away from really cheap grow bags. I got these ones imported in from China. They're quite expensive, so it's not something I'm selling, but I may look into that in the future. So this tree, it's all planted up now. Look at it. It's a beautiful little Tahitian lime tree that come out of that pot. And as I said, it was struggling. You could tell by the root system on it. It just wasn't growing. They were browning off. And that doesn't help the tree grow at all, like from above. Like, we really want to have this nice green flush coming through. Now, I'm in autumn here in Australia, and I'm in my greenhouse. And so I'm just going to actually give it a little bit more water. We've got some down here. I want it really, really flushing right through this whole tree, right through this whole grow bag. It'll be pouring out through the side here, so I've got to watch out it doesn't run sort of all over me. It's actually raining outside, if you can hear it at the moment. We've got a bit of wet weather on the way. But I'm going to keep filming inside the greenhouse and show you what's going on here. What I call the grow table. Like, the grow table is an old segment I used to have here on my channel, where I do a lot of gardening about growing food and showing you really awesome little options that you can do at home to grow an amazing garden. If you mix it in with a bit of worm farming like I do to save a bit of money and turn your waste into something wonderful, you can grow this amazing food. Now what I found is I've watered it in again and the roots are exposed a little bit more. So I'm going to have to cover it over one more time as that sort of medium drops down. And if I had some chicken manure around, some pellets, I'd probably put that on top. Citrus are really heavy feeders, but because I've got worm farms and I've got liquid coming out of them, that will be pretty good. If I ever come up with some little pellets lying around, I throw them on top just to give it a bit of a boost. It's going to stay here in the greenhouse and enjoy the winter warmth that it gets right here inside. Have a great day, happy gardening, leave any comments and questions down below, and we'll see you at the next video / vlog real soon. Bye for now.